Hey guys, so we're going to go over chapter 22, and chapter 2 is going to be pretty big, so I'm going to get off of there. Um, it's pretty long, and so we're going to be breaking it up into pieces when we do the work togethers and stuff. So we're just going to get started. So this is the end of the period stuff. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is the adjusting entries. And there are about 8 adjusting entries that have to be done at the end of the physical period. So we want to make sure that the accounts that started with a certain balance are updated at the end, and that's the purpose of the adjusting entry. So that supplies account that started at the beginning of the month isn't going to be the same as it ends the month. So we're going to use pencils, we're going to use paper, we're going to use toilet paper, all that kind of stuff. So this is where those adjusting entries come into. So the first thing that they're going to give you is the unadjusted trial balance. So these are all of the balances at the beginning of the month, all right, or the beginning of the year. I think we're going to do the beginning of the month. So as of December 31st, these are all of the beginning balances. And notice we match, which is what we should. So this is before any of the activity for the month happened, all right. So now we have some of the adjusting entries. So we have to account for our uncollectible accounts. So those are the accounts that our customers aren't going to pay us back. So we figure that out. So this is one of the things. They give us a percentage. We usually figure out the percentage. We figure out how much is already there, and then we figure out how much our adjustment is. And it's going to be the same for merchandise. So this is the number in the unadjusted trial balance. This should be the number of the inventory at the end, and then the adjustment is going to be the difference. So notice it's going to be the difference, okay? And you guys all know the difference means subtraction. So here is an example of our uncollectible accounts expense. So they've given a certain percentage, and they said that percentage is $1,400, or the percentage is 2,000 something, but we already have $600 in my account. So that leaves us with $1,400 left, and then we have our ending inventory. They gave us, on the previous example, they gave us our ending inventory, and the difference was 23. So notice it gets put into income summary. Okay, that's the account that we're going to be using for a lot of the adjusting entries. So the first one, uncollectible accounts expense, they're either going to give us that number, they're going to have us calculate it. The merchandise inventory, we're just going to have to do some simple subtraction for that. So those are the first two. Then they have us the next couple with just supplies, expense and supplies. So they tell us how much we had at the beginning, they tell us how much we have at the end, and the difference is the adjusting entry. So my supplies expense is going to be my debit, my supplies has to go down, so it's going to be my credit. Same thing with insurance and prepaid insurance. I used up so much, 36,000 of insurance, so that's going to be my expense. And then I need to reduce my prepaid insurance by that same amount. So those are my next two. So, and you can write these down as we go. That would be my suggestion. So the previous two, let's just go up. So uncollectible accounts expense and allowance for uncollectible accounts. And remember, you can always pause this. And then insurance, income summary, and merchandise inventory. Those are our first two. Then we have supplies expense store, or supplies expense and supplies, and insurance expense and insurance and prepaid insurance. So those are our next two. So those are four. And we have our tax rate that we have to figure out. And so this is one thing that I'm going to have, that I'm going to tell you. It's simple enough, the tax rate, to figure it out, but it's easier if we just give you that number. So this is how much they've already paid. So this is how much they figured out in taxes. This is how much we already paid. And so the difference is the adjustment. So this is these are the adjusting entries. So a lot of these are given. So this is a calculation, this is given, this is a calculation, calculation. The depreciation expenses are given. Okay, those are all given. So is the interest is given. So is the unearned, and then the federal income tax. So these are the adjusting entries that we're going to be working on in that first 22-1. Okay. Once the adjusting entries are done, then you do another adjusted trial balance. So it has all of the updated balances in those accounts. So notice uncollectibles is now 2,000. The interest receivable has money in it. So those are all updated, and notice they still match, and they still have to match because our debits still have to equal our credits. And then from that adjusted trial balance, then you create now the income statement. And the biggest thing about the income statement is just the formatting. All of your numbers are provided for you. You just have to put it in the proper format. So notice it's 4 columns. A lot of the information is going to be in the third column. The overall totals are in the fourth column, and then some simple calculations in the first and second column. So it's just going to be a matter of putting it into the right column and using those formats. And so my suggestion is whenever you're doing this, whenever you're doing the financial statements, you open the book and you open up to the income statement and you put it in the right, and you just copy the format. Okay. So here's the format for the statement of stockholders' equity. So we have to use, common stock, paid in capital in excess of par, preferred stock, retained earnings is at the bottom, and then we have our total of our stockholders' equity. So remember, it's all about format, guys. You already have the numbers for these. You just have to plug them in into the right format. Okay. Sorry. Can't see here. All right. And then the last piece is the balance sheet. So the balance sheet is then wrapping it all together, making sure my assets equal. So my assets to the top, and notice the double underline. So that's the end of my assets. My assets equal my liabilities that are underneath plus my stockholders' equity. And notice these two numbers here close to the double underline match. We want to make sure that those two match. Okay. So for our balance sheet, and you already have the numbers. Like I said, it's just a matter of putting those in, maybe doing some simple calculations, adding and subtracting these columns and stuff. So you know what those totals are. But for the most part, you already have all the numbers that you need. It's just going to be some simple adding and subtracting. The statement of cash flows is new. This is something that you guys haven't had to do before. So it's based on 4 parts, or mostly 3 parts: operating activities, investment activities, and financing activities. So we're going to, in these 3 parts, we're going to be putting in, advertising, insurance. So we're going to be doing some cash outflows, some investing, purchasing some assets, and then financing, doing the dividends and some other long-term financing, bonds and such. So you'll be given all the numbers. All you'll need to do is do some calculating. So notice the parentheses around these numbers. That parenthesis means it's negative, guys. So negative inventory purchases. So just be aware of that. When you're spending their cash payments, they're going to be negative. Okay, that's why they all have those negative numbers on them. And then you'll have your cash receipts minus all those negatives. So that gives us our total cash payments, and then you'll see our number. So notice it's way smaller than our two totals because we had to subtract them. So that'll be the first portion. And like I said, they're going to give you all the numbers. You just have to put it in the proper format. The second part is the cash flows from investing. It's a pretty small portion. And then the last part is the cash flows from financing. So stock, payables, bonds, all of that stuff will go in. Notice we have a couple of negative. So those are payments. That's why they're negative, because we had to pay them. And then overall, it'll look like this. So remember, I'm going to reiterate it again. Use your book for the format. Use your book for the format. The book has the awesome format. You know exactly what column to put it in, how it should look like. Okay. And then, because we're going to be doing them together, you know that it'll be right. Okay. So the last part of the closing entries. So there's 4 parts to closing entries: the sales part, expenses part, our income summary part, and then we're closing out the retained earnings, the leftover into retained earnings. So this is the first part of our closing entries. Hopefully they give us a drop down and we don't have to type all of this, but we'll see when we get in there because it's a lot. Okay. So we'll just be putting in those numbers from the balance sheet, okay, in order to close these are all of our expenses. Notice our depreciation. So those are all temporary. Anything that we're closing is going to be temporary. All the stuff that stays open are going to be our permanent accounts, like our assets, liabilities, and our retained earnings and capital stock and stuff. Those are our permanents. Everything else is going to be temporary. So retained earnings is permanent, but we're closing income summary into retained earnings. So this is a temporary into a permanent account. That's step number 3. And then step number 4, we're closing our dividends, which is our temporary, into our permanent account. So those are the 4 different closing entries that we're going to be doing. At the end, reversing entries are optional, but if we do the adjusting entries, you have to do the reversing entries, and they're just the same entries as the adjusting entries. They're just flipped. So this is receivable and income. When you do the reversing, it's income and receivable. This is expense and payable, and then it's payable and expense. Okay. So if you do the adjusting entry, you have to do the reversing entry. All right. So remember, it's just the opposite. Okay. And then that will take us to the end of the accounting cycle for the corporation. It'll take us to the end. So we have all of our steps from source documents to transactions, journalizing, posting, updating our subsidiary ledgers, doing our worksheet, which would be the 5 and 6 step would be our worksheet. 7 is doing those adjusting entries and updating them. Then doing our financial statements, closing entries, updating those closing entries, preparing that post-closing trial balance, and then doing that final last little bit of reversing entries to get the general ledger ready for step number 1 again. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing in chapter 22. All right, and like I said, we're going to be doing step 1, and we're going to be doing the work togethers together. All right, so have a great week.